Hello, everyone. Matt Malatesta here in the VYPE Clubhouse, the VYPE podcast room. Today, we're happy to bring in the Woodlands quarterback, TCU commit, Jack Daulton, expecting a big season for the Woodlands. All right, look, this guy, he's got to climb and duck around all these lights, etc. Okay, Daulton, last time the Woodlands made it to the state championship game was the year that they won UIL's 7-on-7. Y'all just won 7-on-7. They had a guy named Eric Schmidt who was the head coach's son, took him deep into the playoffs, went to Sam Houston, won a ring at Sam Houston. What was the 7-on-7 vibe like? Did you expect to have so much success?
You know, I think we did, because the group of guys we've been playing with for the past 5 or 6 years, I think we've won a ton of tournaments, and we've had a pretty good record. I think we've only lost 18 games as a group on the 7-on-7 circuit. And so I think that going into that tournament, we were expecting to win, and we knew we could. And I'm really glad we got it done, and hopefully that that win translates over to the football season.
What was it when you get rolling in 7-on-7? Is it just like everybody's open, or you're throwing people open, or it's like when Michael Jordan gets hot, is it kind of like that? You're just like, oh man, I'm on fire, I can't stop.
I think so. I mean, I'm calling plays, try to get into a groove, see what some good play calls are, and then just get into that groove, and I think nobody can stop us.
So quarterback, what is kind of cool is you mentioned this before, is you really didn't start playing tackle football until when?
7th grade was my first year of tackle football.
Which is so wild, because like all these kids across the state are like playing at 4 years old, and they're all padded up. But what do you think that helped you, or do you think that hurt you?
I think it helped me. I think kind of that delay maybe. I guess I don't think I was ready to play whenever I was younger. I wasn't like the biggest kid. I mean, I was just kind of skinny and all that. But I think that helped me. I think it just allowed me to grow, like kind of see playing other sports helped me kind of grow as a football player too.
Yeah, it kind of because you can get burned out on football, I guess, because I mean, dude, it is a physical sport, and it takes a toll on your body. I know that sounds weird, like you're 10 years old, you're getting banged up, but you are getting kind of banged up, and it kind of builds that hunger to play in 7th grade. So then all these kids have played, and now you're the 7th grade guy. What did you play going into McCullough, which is a massive middle school?
Yeah, so my first year, 7th grade, I was a quarterback, and so I played that first year, and then going into 8th grade, they kind of wanted to switch me around, and I played pretty much every position on the team. I was receiver, I played some quarterback, I was an outside linebacker, I played some corner, safety, I was pretty much everything. And I think I had a lot of fun that year playing everything, but I knew my dream was to be a quarterback, so.
The Woodlands is a hyperbolic chamber of type A people and parents and coaches, etc. Do you, like last year you have a breakout season, do you feel the pressure of like, oh my gosh, now, not that it's all on your shoulders, but now the spotlight is bam on you?
I think I just got to kind of ignore all that and just kind of not let it affect me. And I think just the main goal is to go out there and have fun and win some football games. So,
first offer was who?
TCU.
Dude. So then what was the process of TCU being a big time program coming in? How did they kind of convince you that was your future home?
I kind of was building a relationship with them since last summer, 2024. And I just think that just being with the coaches, Kendall Briles, I think I just built like a great relationship with them. And, obviously they went to the national championship, and that's the goal. I want to go win a national championship. And I think they got a great place where they can go do that. And so the process was just continuing to build those relationships, and I think that's where I'm meant to be. It's
kind of cool because, man, it's like they're like, this is our quarterback. And, this day and time, man, of recruiting, especially quarterbacks, do you feel like you really weren't, you could get a time machine and go back in time, but do you think the recruiting process is harder now, especially for quarterbacks?
I think it is now with like the transfer portal and everything, because teams aren't always looking for a guy straight out of high school. They want some experience. And I think that a lot of teams are just going after guys in the transfer portal because they know they have had college football seasons under their belt, and I think it has changed. But I'm very grateful to have TCU come take me, and it definitely has changed. So,
Strength. What's the strength of your game?
I think I can improvise very well. I think I can make a bad play turn into a good one. So
Your strength also is your speed. I mean, like you're 6'2", 6'3", but you can freaking go. How does that help you?
I just think if worst comes to worst, I can always just rely on my legs and get out of there if I need to. Just use my speed to get away from guys and just turn on the speed, yeah.
When the schedule comes out, what is the game that's circled for the Woodlands? What is the game you're like, oh, we are going to be hyped for this game?
It has to be Willis because we lost them last year. And
the year before.
And the year before, yeah. And so we don't want to do that again. And I think that's definitely a game that we want to get this year. So Willis is definitely the one.
What do you think you've improved on the most year over year? Let's even take, because here's the thing. The QB1 spot at the Woodlands is kind of a coveted spot. A couple years ago, you have Mabrey Mettauer, who was that guy, and then he goes to Wisconsin, and now he's at Sam. So there's a bottleneck. But when was your aha moment on varsity as a quarterback for the Woodlands?
I think it was honestly just like, I don't know. That's a good question. I think as a quarterback, I think I played my best game versus Duncanville. And I think that was the game where it kind of just, I knew I could play quarterback. And we kind of stayed in that game with Duncanville until the fourth quarter. Obviously, we lost. But I think that was the game where I kind of realized that I could do it. So.
And that's on a big stage. Because, that's deep in the playoffs. Duncanville, like when they get off the bus, it's already like, these guys look different. But if you could do it against them, you could do it virtually against anybody in the country. Did it build your confidence?
It definitely did. Yeah, I think having that game and having a close game with them until the end, they beat us by, I think, 2 scores.
Yeah.
But, yeah, definitely that helped me build my confidence. So,
Number 12 means what? That's your jersey number. But why did you pick that?
So, I'm a lifelong Patriots fan. So my family, my parents grew up in Boston, so obviously I'm picking number 12 because of Tom Brady. He's the quarterback I kind of try to be like because of all the Super Bowls he's won and all that, and just the leader he is. And I think that's who I want to be like as a quarterback. So,
are you kind of a film nerd also, or do you watch a lot of film? Because now the game seems like you got to study the game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I watch film. I've always tried to see what I mess up on, see where I can grow, see where I can improve, and that's definitely the goal week after week, just trying to, what can I do better that I didn't do the previous week?
Outside of football, what is how do you wind down outside of football? What do you do that people might not know, or that you just kind of, it kind of gets you away from the sport?
Just hanging out with friends, just hanging out with my boys, playing pickleball, playing some video games, play some, Fortnite, college football 26 and all that. So, I guess playing those football video games don't really take me away from the sport, but it's still relaxing for me.
Of course. When you're kind of in the cusp of all this NIL stuff also, what brand would you be like, dude, this is the brand I would love to rep? It could be anything.
Okay. That's a great question.
Like a Whataburger or I'm a Starbucks guy. I'm a Starbucks guy.
Whataburger would be awesome. I love eating at Whataburger.
Yeah, but what is it? A clothing brand? What is it like? That you're like, oh my gosh, this would be the dream to rep this.
Maybe some Nike. Nike would be cool.
Yeah,
get some Nike on it now. I think Nike's just like, I probably wear it the most out of any brand, so Nike, and I feel like they're a pretty big brand, so I feel like
Massive.
I would not be complaining.
It doesn't get bigger than that. Inspiration, who along the way has kind of kept you in between the bumpers of life, whether it be in football, whether it be just kind of motivating you in school and just staying on path? Who have been those people?
My parents.
Yeah.
My parents, they definitely played a huge role in who I am today. You know, I'm always learning from them. They're always teaching me something, and I think that, like, I look up to them every day. So,
what do you feel like? Everybody's got the dream to play in the NFL. What would you do if after your sporting career is over?
I think it'd be cool to be a coach, you know? I think being a football coach would be awesome. But then also, I think flying planes interests me a lot. So I think being a pilot would be pretty cool. Because my dad's a pilot, so I kind of want to take after him and maybe go fly some planes.
Dude, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
But a coach is also is super cool also, but just because the impact you have on so many other people as your coaching career happens, it's really amazing. You'd be a good coach. That's a good. You're kind of chill for the most part. What is the cheat day when we're just going off on a Sunday and just eating whatever you want? What is it?
Maybe some Whataburger. I'll eat some Whataburger. Maybe some donuts and kolaches for breakfast.
That would be me. I would start at Shipley's morning, bang.
Yeah.
Just start it off.
Kolaches are the best.
Yes.
I think they're better than donuts.
I agree. All-time favorite movie?
Interstellar.
Says no one. That's a pretty bold. That's bold.
That's my favorite movie ever. Interstellar.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Love Island. Who do you love on Love Island? Don't say you don't watch it because everybody's watching.
I do watch it.
Oh.
My girlfriend watch it. Probably my favorite.
It's hard. Let's go favorite girl.
Favorite girl? Probably Amaya. She's pretty funny.
Freaking annoying. She's so annoying. Favorite guy?
Probably Taylor. Taylor's my favorite.
Taylor? Really?
Yeah, I like Taylor. He's goofy. I like how he's goofy.
I would have definitely said like Sierra and Nick. That would be. You're like, oh, yeah. No. But how does that freaking show suck everybody in? Because it's on.
Sure.
There's like every day. So you get a new episode of drama. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm a UK guy. Awesome. And I'm of Australia. Love Island, Australia, too.
I've only seen the USA.
No, you got to go. You got to go international. International. What are you listening to prior to games?
You know, just some. I like Travis Scott.
Yeah,
Travis Scott's probably my favorite rapper.
Right.
You know, other music. I like country music. You know, I like listening to Co Wetzel. Co Wetzel's probably my favorite country guy.
Who would you want to see most in concert?
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott.
Because I've seen Co Wetzel and his concerts are amazing, but I haven't been to a Travis Scott concert. I think that's my dream concert. So
well played. Sporting event. What would be your sporting event you would want to go see the most?
Ooh, maybe a Super Bowl, or I think like the World Cup final.
I'm telling you, dude, I hate soccer. I think soccer is stupid. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
But I would go to a World Cup final.
I think
it's so wild. The people are wild. It's so much passion.
I know.
I'm an SEC football guy, and I think that's passion. But I think like a World Cup is like a whole next level of craziness.
And I think that since it's coming to America next year,
it's gonna be lit.
I think I'm gonna try to go. So.
People are gonna go wild over that.
I know.
Favorite vacation spot? Since your dad's a pilot, boom, y'all are going. Y'all are going places.
Costa Rica.
Pura
Vida. Yeah. It was so much fun.
There's a lot to do there.
Yeah.
There's so much to do. You could be in the mountains, and like 45 minutes later, you could be surfing.
Yep. That's what we did. We went ziplining in the mountains, and we went surfing.
Dude, it is a wild country. What did you do this summer? Anything? Are you traveling at all this summer?
So I went up to TCU a couple times.
Besides football.
Football.
Football, schmuckball. Good Lord. I'm tired about all this football.
I went up to Massachusetts for the 4th of July because family's up there.
That's pretty cool.
Went to the beach. You know, it's a lot of fun on the 4th up there. They go pretty crazy. And
are you a Woodlands lifer, or did you get here late?
I was born in the Woodlands.
So okay, so you're a
born
lifer.
and raised. Woodlands lifer, yeah.
Okay, so you don't know these names, but I'll just Chance Mock.
U of H quarterback.
He played at UT from the Woodlands.
Yes. I was thinking someone else.
Yes. Then you had Eric Schmid.
Mm-hmm.
And Dristos was really more of a baseball guy. And then, of course, you had Mabrey. You could be the greatest quarterback in the history of the Woodlands. And I know you don't like to think about that. But are there any like records you're trying to beat? What is your goals? Like at night, you have your little goal sheet out. Is it like throwing for 3,000 yards? What is it?
You know, I just think my goal of next year is just improving, you know, I guess improving in all aspects of the game. I'm definitely trying to get some more passing yards, more passing touchdowns. That's the goal. Maybe I can get 30 passing touchdowns. That's definitely my goal right there. And I guess just record-wise, I'm looking, I guess I want to break like passing game records.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's probably going to be hard to I can't break the career ones.
Right.
But maybe the season and the passing game ones, I think those are what I'm aiming for.
What's also kind of interesting is like you were kind of in a quarterback battle.
Yeah.
Like what? But does that kind of help you with your being competitive to win and be the guy? Because it was at the beginning of last season, maybe even last season 7-on-7, were y'all splitting time with somebody else and whatever? When did you like, hey, I'm taking this and this is my position?
Yeah, definitely. I was splitting time last year. It was a quarterback battle throughout spring ball last year, and then early in the season and all that. And then I guess when I realized it was mine was after the first game. I feel like I shouldn't be taken off the field. That's how I think of it. But you know, I feel like I shouldn't. I don't want to get into all the
right. But
you know,
but like it kind of makes you. Some people are just given the quarterback position or the point guard position, whatever it might be, just because of their hype around them. You are not like that, which is great because it makes you like, oh man, I'm going to battle and I'm going to win this. It makes you more competitive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
For the most part.
Yeah.
What was your first memory of the Woodlands as a kid?
Okay. So I was at a playoff game in 2018. I'm not sure who they're playing. I think it went into overtime. I wasn't sure if it was overtime.
Okay.
But Fabrizio Pinton hit that 55-yard game-winning field goal. That was like one of the first games. I think that was the first game I ever went to.
Yeah, I do remember that game. It was like Klein. It was a Klein school or no?
It was 2019, and it was
2018. Okay.
I feel like it was Cedar something.
Cedar Hill or something like that.
Oh no, so it might have been Ridgepoint. I can't remember who it was, but I do. That was Mason's senior year, so I remember that. That was like Casey's.
Yeah.
The running back.
But were you ever like on the sideline, or you were just a kid in the stands, just kicking it with your friends?
Yeah, just a kid in the stands. You know, just that game was definitely memorable. I have a video of that field goal. And,
yeah,
everyone was going crazy.
So thinking about that to now, are you surprised that you've come that far, or not really surprised? You're like, oh man, this is what I was wanting to do.
I think it's definitely what I've been wanting to do pretty much my entire life. You know, it's always been my dream to play football. So I'm pretty grateful I get to go out and do it there. So,
are you a texter, Snapchatter, DMer? What is your mode of communication?
Snapchat. Definitely the most. I use it every day. You know, that's how I communicate with my friends. So I text my parents and then Snapchat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like, it's so weird. I don't understand. Why can't we always just be on one freaking platform? Who's your favorite follow? Who do you follow on, like, call it like TikTok or YouTube, or who do you follow?
Oh, that's a great question.
Meaning, like, who do you like? Oh my gosh, this guy is hilarious, or this whatever is
I guess
Some stuff. This sounds corny, and I hate to admit this, but you learn a lot on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like you can learn history and medicine, and football, and what to wear.
Exactly. I think on TikTok, I don't follow many people. I kind of just let my For You page do it all.
Yeah, right.
But on YouTube, my favorite YouTuber is probably Outdoor Boys. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He like goes camping in Alaska and he hunts and catches fish and stuff. And it's like snowing out. He's in a blizzard, but that's my favorite YouTuber, I think.
Are you an outdoorsy person?
I mean,
no, you're not.
I'm not.
If you're automatically yes, hunter, fisher, outdoors.
I go fishing sometimes, but I want to go camping, but I just never really get the chance to, you know? That's what I want to go do. I think it'd be fun, but...
We live in Texas. It's just too freaking hot. Yeah. It's super hot. What, if you were going to be playing another sport, what would it have been? If your direction went a different way, what would it be?
It probably would be soccer. I think it'd be soccer, because I played soccer my entire life leading up until middle school, which was whenever I kind of made that flip over to football. But I played soccer for I'd say 9 years. And I think if I wanted to keep playing, then I would, but I think football's where I should be.
I know. But people look at you to be like, oh, dude, you're definitely a basketball player. But like a 6'3" soccer player might work also. What clutters you the most? Is it, do you read a bunch on social media? Can comments for football, and you probably don't get bad comments, but what is the biggest trap that people that are getting recruited fall into?
I just think kind of leaning into all the hype. I think just you kind of got to quiet it all down, just know who you are as a player and not really listen to what anyone else has to say. I just think that sometimes the hype can get to you, and I just think that not listening to it, just kind of believe in who you are.
That's the thing, because you kind of came off the grid a little bit, meaning that, again, you have all these people that are already crowned the next quarterbacks of whoever. And there's not a lot of room for other people to kind of make their mark. So you might have gone through the process, and I know other people do, oh my gosh, I'm way better than that guy. I should be getting these offers. Or, hey, I've reached out to this coach, and they were super hot, and now we haven't heard from them in a month. Is it a roller coaster of emotions?
It was. I think early into my recruiting process, it was pretty stressful. It was phone calls every day and texting and meeting with coaches at school. And I just think it was definitely a roller coaster. It was a lot of stuff thrown at me all at once, because I had pretty much not talked to a college coach since the summer. And it was 1 or 2 college coaches. And then all at once, I guess it was after I got that TCU offer, it kind of just all came on top of me, and I was pretty stressed out for the most part.
Dude, it happens so fast.
Yeah.
Literally overnight. And it can be overwhelming. And if you don't have anybody that kind of helps you kind of direct it and hey, maybe here's some good advice to follow, it can become so overwhelming. How often do you talk to TCU now?
Oh, pretty often. Me and Coach Browse, we text almost every day. There's some days where we don't, but he's always checking in on me, and that means a lot to me.
That is cool, because he seems kind of like a young guy, but he's not. But he's had a great career as an offensive play caller. What is it about his personality or his style or his way of doing things that really drew you to him? Because honestly, coaches are great, head coaches are great, but it's really comes down to your room, your quarterback room, your OC, your quarterback coaches. What was it about him?
The thing I really liked about him and the QB room that they have is that they're kind of all one family. He's always calling one of them, texting one of them, checking in, seeing what they're doing. They text what they're doing. when they're going home, when they're getting home, like
Yeah.
if they're safe and stuff. So
Right.
I think that's what I like is they're a tight knit group. So
It's like a cool dad.
yeah.
Yeah. Dads cannot be cool at times. I mean, I'm reminded that all the time, in fact. All right. Finally, what is the ceiling? And I know what you're going to say. Everybody's going to win state. If we ask this question, we have 700 state championships in the state of Texas. But what is the key to the Woodlands winning state? Here's why. 2004, I wrote a book about North Shore High School. They beat the Woodlands at Rice in the state finals. Then, what was it, 2017, 2018, 2016, they go to state. They play Lake Travis loaded. Amazing season. They've been close. They can't get it done. We always, Duncanville, DeSoto, all these teams are in the way. What do y'all gonna have to do to reach state? It's a deep question. You like that?
That's a deep question.
I've been working on that for a while.
I think kind of just stacking wins. I think that gaining momentum going into the playoffs is what matters the most. So I think going into district, our goal is to go undefeated in district, win district, obviously. Yep. And, I think what we've always had trouble with in the past is getting past Duncanville in the third round. So I think that's going to be the focus first, but obviously taking it one game at a time. I think that once we get in the playoffs, we just got to win and keep going after that. And then Duncanville, we got to get past them. And I think in the past, last season, I think we were the closest we've been. And I think that we're one or two plays away. I messed up a little bit, and I think that if I'm better, I think that the whole team can be better. And I just think that our group of guys, we're just all one,
This is it, man.
Since we've been playing 7-on-7 together since 6th grade, I think that, I feel like we're kind of destined to go do that. I feel like we definitely can go win state, and I think that the 2026 squad is the one to do it.
Wow. Okay. I said that was the last question. Really, the last question is this. Y'all have like 70 different uniform looks. What is your favorite Woodlands uniform? What would you say? All-encompassing uniform. Is it the reds, the greens? What is it?
My favorite uniform is the all-red look with the white helmet. I think nothing beats that. So.
All right. Okay, Jack Daulton could be the greatest quarterback in the history of the Woodlands High School, trying to lead his team to a state championship. He's headed to TCU, one of the top quarterbacks in the country. Hey, man, congrats on all your hard work. I know it takes a lot.
Thank you very much.
And we will see y'all at the games. We'll see y'all at a bunch of Woodlands games this season.